Welcome back to Washington Watch. My name is Joseph Backholm, sitting in for Tony today. So glad that you have joined us. Earlier today, the Senate Judiciary Committee kicked off the confirmation hearings for President Biden's pick for the Supreme Court, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Opening remarks from Democrats were full of praise for the nominee, while Republicans promised pointed questions for the federal judge.
And you'll be asked, do you support expanding the Supreme Court? I hope you can give us an answer, because it shouldn't be hard. Either you do or you don't. Justice Ginsburg said no. She thought if you just changed the number of the court every time somebody new came in power, it would ruin the court in the eyes of the public and make it a joke over time. I agree with that. So I hope you can give us an answer to that question, because I think the court would be better off if the judges stood up for the court.
Joining me now to talk about what we might expect this week based on what we know about the judge and what senators have said so far is Katherine Beck Johnson, Research Fellow for Legal and Policy Studies at Family Research Council. Katherine, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joseph. Thanks for having me on this evening.
We are going to hear a lot about the confirmation and Judge Jackson in the coming days and weeks. What happened today and what do you expect moving forward?
Today was just the opening statement. So the nominee judge, KBJ, was not asked a lot of questions or any questions for that matter. She gave her opening response, but the Republican senators focused a lot on how they want to look at her track record. They want to look at her leniency in sentencing child predators. They want to look at her opinions on court packing. There have been some rumors that she supports the idea of court packing. And they also focused a lot on how Justice Kavanaugh was mistreated so much by the Democrats in the Senate during his hearing, and how that they will treat her with respect and that they can expect this to be professional and about her as a judge, not her personal life, not last minute allegations. While the left very much just praised her, they focused a lot simply on the fact that she was the first African-American nominee, and there wasn't a whole lot of substance behind her record as a judge, but it was more so about her physical attributes. So moving forward, we'll see tomorrow and Wednesday to be a lot of questioning of her, and we will see how she answers.
Now, Katherine, for most Americans, we are not familiar with the bench of federal judges or potential nominees to the Supreme Court. So whoever is nominated for most people is a stranger. But what have we learned about Judge Jackson since her nomination several weeks ago?
We've learned that Judge Jackson is very much a favorite of the far left. When she was an attorney, she did an amicus brief, which was a brief supporting NARAL, the abortion industry, saying that pro-lifers should not be able to stand outside abortion clinics, should not have their free speech respected, and they should not be able to protest abortion outside of clinics, which is just really a radical view. We also learned as a judge, she was very much results oriented. She would shield Clinton's aide from having to answer why he sent emails on his personal account. She would knock down every single Trump act that was before her. She very much seems to be a results oriented judge, stemming from her action as a lawyer advocating for NARAL.
And let's take a moment and clarify why it's a problem to be a results-oriented judge, because you want judges on the bench who are, as the slogan says, justice is blind, who don't look at the parties involved in the dispute, but they look at the law and they try to apply it fairly. Because if you have a judge who's primarily interested in the outcome and who it benefits or who it doesn't benefit, that's not the rule of law, that's the rule of people. And so we do want justices who are able to look at situations and not evaluate who's involved and do I like them or not, but simply how does the law apply to the situation, even if I may not like the result or not. Now, you've mentioned some of the things that have been learned about her. You also referred to some of the comments today on the Hill that people expect this to be professional. They're going to be respectful. They're going to be kind. In light of what we know, how much opposition do you expect to see for Judge Jackson?
I think the biggest opposition is really right now coming from Senator Hawley's office. He was the one that broke the news that there was a lot of digging into her sentencing, and she showed a lot of leniency in sentencing child offenders, those that had 40 to 1,000 files of child porn, those that tried to cross state lines, that was very concerning. And that's something that Senator Hawley is very much going to be attacking her on. The other senators have also said they would like answers on that. That's something that she needs to be prepared to be answered on. So that's really going to be a really large concern. And then you're going to have senators like Manchin, who are vulnerable Democrats, have to answer to their constituents of, yes, I voted yes on somebody who is lenient on child offenders. So it's something that we definitely will be following that line of questioning, especially.
And we know that historically, the Senate has given deference to the nomination of the sitting president. That's been particularly true, I should say, in recent years, have been more true of Republicans for Democratic president than it has been for Democratic senators of Republican presidents. But given that deference and given the concerns that Senator Hawley's office has raised and things like leniency for sex offenders is something the public might take issue with, how are the senators going to balance those competing interests?
That's right. I think it's the jobs of this Republican senators to oppose her on judicial philosophy. They're going after her judicial opinions as a district judge, of her sentencing of child sex offenders. So they're not going to personally be attacking Judge Jackson. They're not going to make this about her as a person, her character, any actions in her personal life. You very much must stick to this being a judge's record as what she did as a judge. And that's how you keep it professional and cordial, but also say at the end of the day, I don't think that you interpret the law neutrally, even though she has claimed in her opening statements that what she will do. It's very clear by her track record that she will not and does not. And so you simply say, based on your judicial philosophy is why we will be voting no.
Katherine, we've got about 30 seconds left. The Senate is tied 50-50. Is there any chance Judge Jackson is not confirmed in your opinion?
I would say there would have to be something explosive that happens. I think it's very much expected that she will be confirmed. She does have a lot of support from the other side, but you never know what will happen, and we'll definitely be following this over the next few days.
Katherine Beck Johnson, thank you so much for your time, as always.
Thanks. Have a great evening.